Sego Seguegos Ganagoa, Kimberly Murray Yungats Ganye Gahaga Neganasatage Wakwaho. Hello everyone. I just introduced myself in Mohawk and I told you that my name is Kimberly Murray, that I'm Mohawk of Ganasatage and I'm Wolf Clan. And I'm so honored to be providing some brief words to you today. The National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls examined in great detail why and how it is that Indigenous women and girls continue to be unsafe across this country. It is no surprise that colonization, systemic racism, and genocide have impacted and continue to impact our communities. We have known this for a very long time. The National Inquiry also provided us with clear direction as to what it is that we need to do as a society to ensure that Indigenous women and girls are protected and that they are honored. I want to share a powerful quote that was made by Shaylin Noskai at the National Inquiry's youth panel in Vancouver. And this is what she said. She said, "It wasn't until I was in high school that I learned how to smudge. And it was my Aboriginal mental health clinician that took me to my first sweat. As I learned about the culture I'd been denied as a child, I felt as if I was unlocking a whole piece of my identity that I was never aware of. What I was being taught felt inherently right within me. It positively affected my mental health, and every youth deserves to feel that exact same way." Shaylin put it perfectly. Every Indigenous youth deserves to feel this way, to feel connected and to feel heard. We need to listen and learn from each of you because you know what it is that you need and you already have the answers. I can tell you that I am listening and I will do everything I can to make sure that government decision makers hear your perspectives on decisions being made that affect you. And I want to say to each of you today, you are strong, you are smart, you are wise, and you are the leaders in your communities. I believe it is the collective responsibility of my generation to make sure that we do everything we can to support you so that when you are my age, the safety of Indigenous women and girls will no longer be a crisis. Instead, it will be recognized and established that Indigenous Kwe are leading in all areas of life. In my language, in Mohawk, the word for warrior is Rodiskarigete, and it means carrying the burden of peace. I know that each and every one of you has that strong warrior Kwe inside of you, and I urge you to listen to that warrior and to do everything that you can to make your ancestors proud. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay connected to the land, your people, and your teachings. Nawe Miigwech.
Once said, "We are talking about so many layers of violence upon so many generations of loss, and it's all covered up in layers of silence." When these women go missing, or when the police find a body, there's no investigation. They just assume that there is a drug overdose, suicide, or an accident. This is not the only problem that these families have with the police. Some families complain about the police being racist and sexist, while others say that the police treat the cases as they're inevitable, as their lives matter less. When I first saw the vamps, there was one that caught my eye. It had a picture of a woman's face beaded across it, and it said, "Hello, my name is No One Cares." This really spoke to me because in a lot of cases it is true. Because of someone's skin color or race, religion, they're just treated differently and nobody cares. But I believe we should all be treated equally because after all, we are all people.
Hey, bonjour. Dino ay maganitok. Wabana kwit ndigo. Pajuga shanto tem. Kakagi wata so niga mingi donji. Chibai meteo. Mishuga dash. Asini kwej na kazo ne wio. Mishuga dash mena ne goza sagish na kazo wak bejugo migon. Tabasana kwitons. Mishuga dash oshkianan. Aha. We do katati taga kina Anishinaabe kwek. Anishinaabe kwek zahgidiwin. So my relatives in Treaty 3, I just wanted to send my message of solidarity and support for us to all do our part throughout the territory of the Anishinaabe Nation within Treaty 3 so that we can bring about an end to the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. As an Anishinaabe man, I know I have a strong and important role to play by being a good father, by being a good husband, being a good family member and a good community member. So let's all do our part. Let's wear our moose hide and send that message of ending gender-based violence. Let's send the message of love and support throughout our community. And of course, let's send that message that Anishinaabe Mwin and the Anishinaabe Ijitwawin are the keys and foundation to our success as a nation. And in the process, let us be able to bring healing and support and justice to the missing and to the murdered. Miigwechka bizinawiyek.
Bonjour, hello, bonjour. Ani Carolyn Bennett, Indigenous, Toronto, Nido de Jiba, Minois. I am speaking to you today from the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, where we honor all of the Indigenous peoples who paddled these waters and whose moccasins walked these lands. I am heartened to see the Grand Council Treaty 3 building on the Red Ribbon campaign through missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls awareness for youth by youth. I would like to commend the leadership of all involved in this initiative and understand that the Women's Council, Zahgidiwin, have played a role in this work. The safety, security, and empowerment of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit LGBTQIA+ people is a priority for the Government of Canada. For years, families, survivors, and communities were calling for a national inquiry. We launched the pre-inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in 2015 so we could hear it directly from them. I've met with survivors and families of loved ones and listened to them as they recounted the injustices they have faced. My thoughts and heart remain, as always, with the survivors and the families of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit LGBTQIA+ people. Together with families and survivors, provincial, territorial, and Indigenous partners, steady progress is being made in the work to develop and implement a distinctions-based, regionally relevant, and accountable national action plan to eliminate violence against Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ people. We have been accelerating our work on the development of the different components of the National Action Plan. We recognize that ending this national tragedy requires a new approach. one that addresses the root causes of violence, that recognizes the scope of the work ahead, and one that factors in the different experiences of Indigenous peoples from coast to coast to coast. This work is anchored in 4 interconnected thematic areas from the National Inquiry: culture, health and wellness, human security and safety, and justice. I'm deeply honored to wear this ribbon, which signifies your commitment to honor, respect, protect, and love the Indigenous women and girls in your life, and to come together in ending the violence. And we will continue to work in partnership with you, the survivors, the families, the communities, to guide us in making the changes necessary to ensure that the lives of Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit LGBTQIA+ people are truly protected wherever they are. Miigwech, thank you, merci beaucoup.
Priscilla Indigenous Chianokwadok Indigo Namain Nindo Dem Kuchching Unjiba Odenan Fort Francis in Inda Nongum. Good morning. My name is Priscilla Samard. I'm of the Sturgeon clan, and I was born and raised on Kuchching First Nation, and I live in the town of Fort Francis. On behalf of the Women's Council of Treaty 3, we stand with you, youth of Treaty 3, in solidarity to eliminate the victimization of our Indigenous people. We will advocate for our women and youth, MMIWG families, to ensure the Canada National Action Plan on MMIWG is designed and delivered to meet the needs of the Anishinaabe Nation in Treaty 3. Miawe.